Hi, and welcome to the Divinely Inspired Woman podcast. I am your host, Patricia Wald-Hopkins. I am a modern mystic, and I am here to share with you the beautiful wisdom and stories from women that desire to lead their lives inspired by the divine within them. The divinely inspired woman is devoted to walking the path of her soul's calling, tuning into the divinity within to navigate life with ease and grace through all circumstances. She cultivates beauty in her daily life. She is here to share the most authentic self each day through thick and thin. So I hope you'll enjoy our show today and that you will leave with an infusion of inspiration for your soul and for your day and living your life. Hello and welcome. How are you all doing today? I have a wonderful guest with me, Abigail, today, and this is the Divinely Inspired Woman podcast, and we're going to just have a playful conversation today with Abigail, who, let me just tell you a little bit about her. She is a feminine leadership mentor, a goddess activator, yes, for sure, all of those things, multidimensional healer, intuitive podcast host, yes, international best-selling author and publisher. Oh, yes, and I love your books, right? You know that. And she works with women, creating conscious, heart-centered impact and supporting them with spiritual tools to align, protect, and amplify their light, purpose, and legacy in the world. Did I get it all there? You do a lot of things, woman.
Thank you. I was just like in a daze with your voice. I just love your voice, sister.
Oh, God. Oh, well, thank you. I hope it doesn't put you to sleep.
No, it's like a song. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I want to hear your voice, and I want to hear a little bit about you. The audience would love to know your story of being a divinely inspired woman. I mean, how did you get to be this multidimensional, goddess?
Oh, man. I know, right? So there's a part of the titles that kind of make me giggle a little bit because I mean, you probably understand this because we know our gifts, but we live in a world where people need something that the mind can tangibly, grasp onto. So we have to find words, some kind of words to describe what we do. But when you've worked with me before, it goes beyond the title, and you can experience the different parts, like the multidimensional healer, because I'm able to not only work with the physical body right here and then, I'm able to work with your past lives, your future life, your other dimensional self, your guides, like all of it, right? That's what makes it multidimensional. Goddess Activator, it is my signature, which with Gene Keys, which you just surprised me with that, where it's like, bam, right there. That's where it came from, It's like, I can't even doubt it anymore, but It's always been my inner signature. When people meet me, they're very much activated, and the goddess energy has always been with me. It's really cool to put things together and then find the words that kind of hold it together.
Right. Yeah, it can never capture the full, essence, but it gives you a glimpse, right? It gives you a glimpse. Yeah.
So how did I get here? Well, what a journey, right? We all have such a beautiful, dynamic journey that gets us to where we are. And for me, when it comes to being inspired, my life is the inspiration. My interaction, so my life's interaction with the world is the biggest inspiration. And I know, like, if you looked at my gene keys, you'd probably be like, oh, I know where that's coming from. But,
Yes, we could find some.
and it's just, yeah, I can sit and watch the trees sway outside of my windows, or watch people walk by, who are on a walk, and find inspiration with that interaction, even though they're not talking to me, or, I'm not touching the trees right there. It's like everything in life I can find inspiration in. And I think this is easy for me. Again, it's with my connection with the goddess. The goddess is Mother Nature, is life force, is the interaction with all the cosmic, beautiful energies that are around us. And so that helps me be aware of everything, and not just go out there to try to find inspiration, but rather to see that inspiration is all around me. And I just pull these threads towards me and then weave it into whatever it is that wants to create through. I'm just going to take that in because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I can feel you pulling in the strands and weaving something right here. So.
Exactly. Yeah, that just happened. I was like, whoa, what is happening? So I'm going to drink that in and embody that. And that is, that's part of the journey. It's like every day we get to discover, something new about ourselves. And we get that the invitation to embrace it and embody it, or just kind of be like, oh, this is a coincidence. Oh, this, it doesn't really matter, and kind of just shoo it away or hide it, right? Everything is an invitation, and it includes inspiration. Anything can inspire us if we are open to it. Or we can say only this, that, and that inspires me, and kind of just trap it in a box, and we know what that does. Because at some point it's like, I'm not inspired anymore. I need a muse, right?
Need a muse.
And yes. If you just like break those barriers and just look up, or you just open your eyes and look out into the world, you would notice all the things that are muses to us, that are songs of our souls, that it stares our hearts up. And that creative process begins with that interaction. Yeah. So my life is just interaction with the energies with me every day. It's not a thing that is like, oh, on and off, or, my interaction with spirit, my interaction with this living physical world, and also the spiritual world, what I do, whether it's cooking, whether it's doing laundry, everything that I do, I can find inspiration in that, because I want life to inspire me. I mean, without that, I feel like life would just be bleak. It would be black and white. Right? It would be just like, oh my God, right? So, yeah.
Just boring and flat, right? Oh, exactly. Methodical. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So has it always been this way for you?
I'm like going through memories of when I was young. And probably like, I'm going to say like 8, or maybe like 7, 8, 9. Like I always found something that what word am I looking for? Cheered me up or boosted me up, something that inspired me, if we're using the word inspiration. So for example, I loved going to school. I know. I'm one of those weird kids.
I did too.
It's like when it was break, I hated it. I just always wanted to be in school. I loved my friends. I loved my classmates. And I love to learn, even up to now. I'm a lifelong student as much as I'm a teacher, So I loved school. The other part is that I also loved to cook. And I love to experiment, like I would learn recipes from my mom and my aunties, and like my mom have stories where she's like, sometimes we don't have the right ingredients and I'll put something together that tasted great. And she's like, I never knew you could do that. Like put this and this together and then it will taste this way. Or I never knew that you can use this type of fish this way. And that was me. I would always like, I wonder. It wasn't even, I wonder what it would be like. It was just like, there's this inner knowing. It's like a feeling. I just know I can do it. And I just, with that curiosity, I just put things together. And I've always been that way. I loved drawing and doodling and coloring.
Wow. I see some behind you.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, like younger age, and that this is an invitation I even want to extend to everyone who's listening to this. When you think far, back in the day when you were younger, what are some things that you used to do that brought you so much joy? It might be coloring. It might have been reading. It might be when you were making those mud cakes and pretending they were, a chocolate cake, right?
Right.
It lit you up every time you
lit you up. Yes.
Yeah. When you were playing with that curiosity, because that's a whole world that opens up for you. And especially when we're young, it's just our creative energy, our imagination is so potent and powerful, right?
Yeah.
And so, if, for me, it's like even going backwards and like looking at the things that brought me joy, I'm still doing it now, but not because it continued to flow, because I've had times in my life that I'm like, like shut down. Like, I don't want to be here. Why am I here? What is happening? We all go through those challenges in our lives. And I will stop and I'll forget about these things. And then it will come back in. It's like, oh, I remember why I like to color, because someone is like, hey, here's a gift of coloring pencils and a coloring book, and just a sight, for me, just the sight of seeing coloring pencils, like it just
same here.
Oh man, I love it. So I went through different periods of my life where I forget the things that light me up. The things that make this world more colorful for me, because I wasn't feeling colorful inside. And what I do, and you were probably going to ask this, but what I do in those times, and trust me, I have more of those challenges, which I know if you're a teacher, if you're someone who's a leader, helping people at this time, you probably can relate to this. Like we don't have the luxury of pretending, or skipping the great work. We're usually deep in the work as we're guiding other people. And even when we have the smile on our face or we show up looking like everything is good, it's because we just had practice. We just like, okay, next block, how am I gonna, it's like we've had the practice of moving through it, and we've learned what tools, the tools are there. We've gathered it through lifetimes, right? And it's like, okay, what tool do I need right now to break through this block in front of me, right? And we don't hide from it. I know I don't, because I know on the other side is where I want to be. And so whatever that fire is, I will freaking walk through, and it will hurt, it will burn. But I know once I get on the other side, that's where I need to be. And that inspires me a lot. So as a leader, it's very interesting because I'm able to show up still while being in that challenging state. And again, it's because it's not just me moving through this journey. So I was going back to what I do in these cases where I feel, black and white, like my world is collapsing at the same time, like when we get to that point. When I can see, when I can trust my heart, physical heart, because it's breaking. When I can trust what I'm hearing, I ask for signs. I will ask for signs, like divine. I can't see, or like I don't see where my life is going anymore. Like recently, this has been something I've been doing. Like the past 2 weeks has been like this, where my life is like. Crap, and I'm like, divine, it's like divine. If this is really the path that I'm supposed to be in, give me a sign And for me, I was like, give me a sign by bringing me money and clients, because I was like,
Right.
if my business is part of my soul path and it is the right path I need to be on, then yeah, bring me clients and bring me money as a sign that I'm on the right path. And of course, those starts coming in, and it comes in a way that I never even thought was possible, because you don't always receive exactly what you want. You receive what you need, right? But it's like what the key part is receiving, right? So I ask for signs, divine. If this is what you want me to continue doing, send me a sign. If not, please gently steer me in the right path, and let it be so clear, crystal clear, that I cannot ignore it or think of it as a, like a thing that, oh, coincidence. Like, let it be so clear that I cannot ignore it. So that opens up so much, because there's an aspect of surrender in that. You're like, I am stuck. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to look at. I feel like I can't hear. I feel like I can't even connect to my guides, right? It's like, please guide me. It's like there's a sense of surrender, right? And we know what happens when we surrender. It just opens up the way for all of our guys to just like swoop in.
So
and the signs that come through, like I went outside, for example, last week. I went outside to go water my garden. It was like right after I had just asked for a sign. I didn't even say what kind of sign. I just said, just help me. Give me a sign that I'm on the right path. And I'm watering my garden. I looked down and there's a hawk feather. And so I picked it up and I said, okay, here we go. It's like the biggest, beautiful feather. It's like, interesting. Okay, thank you. And I brought it home. I brought it inside and I put it on my altar. So, and that's the other thing. It's like you ask for the sign, you surrender. Usually hopefully you're at that point where you're like, there's nothing that I can do. I've tried my best. I don't know what else to do. And, that's the surrender part. The second part is the opening to receive. I ask for certain specific signs depending on what my challenge is. So, for example, when I said money and clients, because it was around the business, so it's like, okay, if this is the right business I need to do, then support me there, right? And it was like, boom, okay. I was like, okay, fine, I won't touch it,
Yeah, you're still there, but you muted yourself.
Okay. I was like, wait, how did that mute? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And so the second part is opening up. You don't have to ask for, even what kind of signs. Usually for my clients who are beginning to trust the sign or call in the signs, I'd be like, okay, what is your favorite animal? Like an animal you don't see every day. For example, mine was like a white owl. Right. Ooh. It's like, just be open to seeing that. And some of my clients like, well, I didn't see the animal, but I saw a huge picture, on someone's car. I'm like, there you go. Spirit has a way of talking to us that will grab your attention. Like any way that will grab your attention, it will use that path. I have another client who chose a bear and she went for a hike and she's like, you will not believe it. But right in front of me was a bear. I ran so fast to my car. Well, yeah.
I'm on the right path, though.
Exactly. She's like, yeah, it was like I was on my path. It was on my path right in front of me. I could not ignore it. I could not just be like, oh, it's just hiding in the trees over there. It was like, bam, right in front of me. She's like, thank you, Spirit. I hear you. I'm not going to think this is, ignore this. Thank you. Right. So, and I have another client who I think she said a butterfly. And she said, I haven't seen any butterflies, and she's driving to work. And this, the cars that usually have the ads on there.
Yeah.
One of it like drives and gets in front of her. And at the back of the truck is like a huge butterfly. And she's like, okay.
I
Here we
love
go.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Undeniable signs, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So you can ask for specific signs with things that you know that when you see, there's
Yep.
no way that you're going to think it's a coincidence. But as you get comfortable with that, this is where you really open up and you just say, just show me a sign and see what comes in for you. But that requires you to open up to see what else is possible, right? Because at that point, like I didn't ask for a feather. But when I saw that feather, I knew that was for me because I don't find
Mhm.
feathers out there all the time,
Right. Something
especially that
unique and
big like
different.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I saw it, I was like, boom, there it is, right? You just know, you will feel it in your body, right? So at that
Hmm.
point, it's like inviting spirit to really dance with you and hold you at a point where you just like, I don't know what to do, but to just give up unless you intervene, right? And it's just such a beautiful, vulnerable place to be, you know. And for
Yeah.
me, I feel like I can get vulnerable with spirit, but sometimes I wish I could be more vulnerable with humans. Let's put it that
Hmm.
way, you know?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, yeah, naturally, right?
Right?
It's a protective
Are you there?
mechanism. Maybe it's going to reciprocate, right? And
Exactly. Exactly.
not necessarily reciprocate with their own vulnerability, but will honor yours, right? And that intimacy, right, that's required for being vulnerable.
It
So
gets too complicated.
gets too complicated. Humans can be very complicated. The divine, on the other hand, is fairly straightforward once you're willing,
Right?
right?
Once you exactly one yeah, once you're comfortable and more you've worked with the divine, because we know
Yeah.
some people who are not used to working with the divine or knowing that spirit language will say that's complicated. I don't know how the divine communicates. My husband was telling me, like, he asked the divine for something and it didn't happen. He's like, you lied to me. And I was
Wow.
right. And he's like, divine, you lied to me. My higher self lied to me. And I was like, well, they communicate differently. They saw the end results. They didn't tell you when it would happen, but they're
Uh-huh.
telling you it will happen. So our spirit, the divine, they have a totally different language. And it's like the only way we can understand it is when we drop into our hearts and not try to figure it out with our minds. Right. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I
Mm-hmm.
hear the divine say, okay, I'm going to receive this amount of money. And my mind says, oh, the divine says I'm going to receive it. So it must be like today or it must be this week. And yet the divine is like, no, I just said you'll receive it, but maybe you have to do some work to receive it. Or you have to, who knows? But the divine sees more than we do. And we need to be humble, that we're
Mm-hmm.
not commanding the divine to do something for us. The divine,
Right.
through love, is blessing us with that, and saying, hey, I see you, keep going. You will get there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
interested. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it maybe you've heard this a lot of times when people say follow the breadcrumbs, right? A lot of time, right? It's like just the little things that you see will get you to that place. Does that feel true to you as well? Yeah.
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 Yeah. And even that is like, it takes courage and faith, right?
Faith.
Because we
Yeah.
see, I mean, the breadcrumbs are always there, but
Mm-hmm.
whether or not we see it and say, thank you, I see it, I receive it, that's a whole different ball game, right? Sometimes we need what I call the cosmic 4x4 to like bump us, right?
Right?
It's like, wake up. And then we're like, whoa, this has always been here. How come I just, missed it? And it's like, no, you didn't miss it, but maybe it wasn't time for you to see it, or whatever you were going through, like you weren't challenged enough for you to open up to receive, whatever
Right.
the reason is, right? So, and that's a huge part of my mission, as I work with people. It's like introducing them to that spirit, to that realm of the divine, of that realm of the possibilities, living a magical life as a human being. Because the more you infuse that into your life, you realize,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's not too far away from me. This is really what life should be. And
It
I
makes it
can
fun.
continue doing this. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Magic is fun.
Oh,
Magical.
yes. It makes this life colorful.
Makes it colorful. My goodness. I mean, I know I've worked with you and talked to you about lots of different things, but I don't know if we've ever had this particular conversation. So I'm loving this so much and learning. I'm learning how to fine tune my conversations here with the divine. Um,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
always learning.
always
We're
learning. But
always learning.
tell me a little bit about the goddess work, and how that plays in with this lifestyle that you live and teach, or have
Yes.
wisdom keeper of. Mm-hmm.
It's so fascinating because it's something that I continue to contemplate. Because you have, we live in this human world where we have to deal with the duality of things. So we have the divine feminine and the divine masculine and the equalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the divine father above, you have the divine mother below. And so from the emanation, I mean, when I say divine, I'm talking about both together. Like I'm not seeing them as separate. But as a human being and our missions, like what is it that is at the forefront? The divine feminine is connected to the earth. It's about nurturing. That like it's
Mm-hmm.
about expansion. It's about embodiment. It's
Mm-hmm.
about sacred, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Creativity, birth, like all of
Yeah.
that stuff, right? And so both of them, we dance with both divine masculine and divine feminine constantly. And we get to a stage where we learn which one needs to come out and do what it needs to do, who needs to support who
Mm-hmm.
before we move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the goddesses, which I see them as emanations, like physical emanations of the divine feminine energy or the goddess energy. So, it's so interesting, like what is pouring through. They're like I always see the goddesses as human women who walk through intense paths and kind of passed it. Like they passed the mission, and instead of ascending and leaving and going on a cosmic vacation, right? They're like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ascend, but I want to continue to guide other women so that they can make it just like
Mm-hmm.
I did. And
Mm-hmm.
that's who the goddesses are. And what they hate the most is when we put them on pedestals.
Wow.
Because we do that because we think of them as that divine, like, pure, holy. And I think that's a church thing, right? Pure, holy, non-touched. There's no way we can be goddesses because they're just too
Mm-hmm.
far away. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, I was just like you. I know what you're going through because I've been through that, or even worse than that. Right. And I know how you can make it through. And that's their whole purpose. They want to help you make it through whatever challenge comes your way. And also, depending on what your mission is, they can help you activate it. So, for example, one of the goddesses, I call them my soul goddesses because I'm connected. Like if you could do a spiritual DNA test, these goddesses would show up in there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is Mary Magdalene. And, one of her biggest mission is bridging heaven on earth, like bridging the two, bridging divinity and being human. There's no separation there. And, I'm still learning from her. She's my teacher, and another big thing of hers is leadership.
Yeah.
How to lead in a time where the masculine energy has been out of balance. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the divine feminine or the feminine energy is starting to come back in balance with the masculine energy, right? So we need that dance to happen. It's not just like one coming in and the other one leaving. That doesn't work. We've tried both. It does not work, right? And so the goddesses, each of them, going back, is like each of them have a purpose. Each of them have a frequency, depending on what they passed on their journey, right? The mastery, what their mastery was, and which goddesses you're connected to or which ones you're drawn to. There's no coincidence there, right? It's very much about, has to do with your path, your purpose, and they're here to help you do that. So some of them are very connected to you. So just like mine, Mary Magdalene, beloved Isis, Mother Mary, Joan of Arc, they're all my people, like right here, right? They're part of me, just infused with me. They're one with me, right? And then there are other goddesses that will come in and out depending on what I need, right? Yeah. So the goddess energy is the physical emanation of the divine feminine coming through the bigger consciousness. Like if we were to escape this world of duality, it would just like, it always looks like just this ball of light. And there's just one consciousness, one emanation, just, it's like just oneness. There's no separation there. And that's why I love just using the word divine, right?
Yeah,
but because we live in this world of duality and we need to master those two, we need to master what it means to operate in the masculine, and when the masculine is needed, what is the purpose of the masculine, the same with the feminine, and bringing those two together and seeing the harmony. Yeah. That's why we're doing this dance.
That's beautiful. I love the way that you described all of that, that you have a blueprint where you, with the god, a certain set of goddesses, and the ones that you explained, no surprise we're sitting here, that those ones have been resonating with me for quite some time. So thank you, goddesses, for bringing us here together today. And so we're coming to the end here of this beautiful session with you. Is there something that you would like to share with the audience, especially people who are just learning about this path, about being divinely inspired, and also how, they might be able to reach out to you?
Yeah. So what the first thing that comes in, if you're just dipping your toes in, you're like, I have no idea which direction to go, start by asking for a sign. Just look up or touch the ground. Again, remember, all the energies are one. We're the ones that separated them. So it doesn't matter how you do it. Just what is pulling you, what feels good to you, and just connect to your heart. You can touch your heart. You can just breathe into your heart and say, you know what? I'm here. I've never done this before. Divine. If you feel more resonant towards Divine Mother, go with that. If you feel more resonant through God, go with that. Universe, it doesn't matter. Like, give me a sign. Inspire me today. Divine. Oh, I like that. Divine. I am open to your inspiration today. Show me how my life can be possible, or how my life can live in the realm of possibilities, where my life can be more colorful. Again, use your own words. I'm like tapping in here.
Light yourself up.
Yeah. If this resonate with you, go with it. But if other words are coming in, please dance with it. There's no such thing as, I said the wrong thing. No, trust me, the divine knows you more than you can imagine. And sometimes I literally just sit there and put my hand on my heart and say, Divine, I have no idea what to say to you, but you know what's on my heart.
My heart
Please help me.
Right.
Yeah. That's all I say sometimes. And that is more than enough. Yeah. You froze a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah.
You did too, but it was perfect because our hands were on our heart and we were just listening. We were just letting it emanate. So the divine is with us. I have no worries. And you're with me. I have no worries. So, that was beautiful. I believe the hand on the heart. So how can they reach out to you? Where are you found on this multi-dimensional plane?
I know, right? Well, which plane?
Oh, no, okay. Well, I'll be more specific on this 3D plane.
So you can find me easily on my website, moongoddessacademy.com. You will see all my social handles on there. I have a beautiful free gift for you, a meditation. Please, when you pop on there, grab it. Trust me, you want to grab it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on social media. I love Messenger. If you want to send me a message, feel free to. I love connecting with people. I love having delicious, deep conversations with people. So
Yes.
if you're feeling that pull to connect with me, to work with me, or to just say hello, that's a divine inspiration. Follow through with it. Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Abigail.
Thank you, sister.
Really enjoyed this. It was an honor to spend time with you. And so thank you everyone for tuning in, and just be divinely inspired today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Divinely Inspired Woman. Again, I am your host, Patricia Wald Hopkins, and I am so glad that you joined us here today. I hope you left with some soul food to inspire your daily life. And if you would like to learn more about my work, please check out my website, patriciawaldhopkins.com, and you can find out more about my divinely inspired practice and tools. So, thank you again. Have a beautiful day.